Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. My husband, M33, told me, f28, that he's in love with my sister, f32. I'm pregnant and I don't know why this is happening to me. My sister and I had a shitty life growing up with a passive mother and abusive stepfather. My sister was my protector and role model since no one of the adults were. She tried to shift my stepdad's abuse on her when he got drunk so he wouldn't hurt me. When she left for college, she let me stay in her bed while she slept on the floor in her student room, the days I managed to run away from home. When I turned 16, she let me move in with her permanently. We never saw our parents again. My husband is very similar to my sister. They're both very calm and kind. Both are very intelligent. They have the same sense of humor, love the same music, books, movies and games. It's like a weird perverted thing that I found the male version of my sister to fall in love with. They get along very well and that was so important to me because they're my only family. We got married a year ago after 6 years together and I'm 27 pregnant now with our first baby. My sister met her BF m30 a year ago. He got along very well with me and my husband, although I always felt that my husband never really liked the guy. When I asked him once why he didn't like him, he got flustered and told me that he didn't know it was noticeable and apologized. He told me he just didn't think he was good enough for her. Her BF proposed to my sister last night. We were just having pizzas and they were having beers on my sister's balcony and the BF just suddenly went down on his knees and took out a ring. She was very surprised but happy all the same and said yes. When we went back home, my husband was a little tipsy. He told me he wasn't tired and that he's going to have one more beer and watch TV and that I should go to bed. I went back to the living area and he was sitting there crying. I asked him what's going on and he told me that he was in love with my sister. Has been for years, but that he knew how wrong this was. He told me that loved me very much and promised to be a good husband and father to our daughter. He slept on the couch. He's still sleeping now. I'm shocked and full of anxiety. I don't know what to do or how to feel about this. My sister, should I tell her? Nothing can be the same again, but she's my only family and my best friend. And my husband. Is this over? I have been so blind, now I see everything. Of course he's in love with her. How could I be shocked now? Can I save this marriage? And my baby? I promised her a better life than the one I had. I promised her kind and loving parents. I can't let her come to this world with estranged parents and new people in their lives. What can I do? Edit for an update. He is awake now and I have spoken to him. He apologized for hurting me last night. He said that he just felt despair, like he had something very beloved and important in his life that he lost and he was mourning it. He told me he loved me very much and he wanted for this to work for us and the baby. I asked him if he loved her more than me and he said it's just a different type of love. I asked him if he could choose between me or her and he said he'd choose me. I asked him if he thought she was more beautiful and he said that I'm conventionally more attractive. I asked him if he has stayed with me all these years to be near her. He said I was being unfair to him because he did love me. I asked him if he was okay never seeing her again. He teared up but then said he would do anything to save this marriage. He then added that he never really had a mother or a female figure in his life. That's probably why he's attached to her, because she is very warm and loving. I asked him, do you love her as a mother figure or do you want to sleep with her? He didn't want to answer. I asked him if he fantasized about her while sleeping with me. He refused to answer at first and then said, why are you doing this to yourself? I asked him, will lose interest in me if she's out of our lives and it's just us. He looked like he was thinking about this for the first time and then he said that he chose me and my baby. He wants to start therapy and counseling because he thinks this marriage is salvageable. Update 2. We had dinner with my sister and her fiancé. My husband was unusually silent and didn't initiate any talk with my sister. And he barely looked at her. It was a nice dinner. My sister is too happy to notice anything with her engagement and trip tomorrow. Before she went, however, my husband hugged her, longer than usual. He told her he was happy for her and wished her a great trip. All while hugging her, then he held her hand and told her, "I didn't congratulate you properly yesterday because I was drunk," and he congratulated her again. He was tearing up again. Then he hugged my sister's fiancé and congratulated him. He was silent on our way home. He told me he loved me when we got back and that he will do anything to make this work, but that I shouldn't make any decisions while hurt. We are starting couples therapy. I want him to be 100% honest. He asked me not to tell anyone about his confession because it meant nothing. I told him that I didn't want him around my sister anymore if I would give him a chance. He asked me how this would work when we're always together. She will suspect something and he doesn't want me to tell her because he's embarrassed. I told him he could just minimize his interactions with her. I told him to sleep on the couch again tonight because I haven't made up my mind about my next move yet, and that until then it's the couch for him. Good night and thanks for everything, including teaching me how to make bold text. What an exhausting day. I can't imagine having to deal with this while pregnant. I really hope they can get therapy and make it work for their sake and for the baby. Did your sister ever do anything with your husband? Or was he in love with her from afar? I'm afraid this is something like they had an affair or something. No affair. He hasn't acted on his emotions. I'm so sorry you're going through this. You're not a bad person for being angry and resentful. Someday you'll look back on this time and you'll be able to see that your husband is a bastard and a coward for what he's doing to you. Please make sure you get as much child support out of him as you can. You and your baby deserve it. I hope you'll be able to get some therapy to help you through this trauma your husband has inflicted on you. I don't even know the man and I hate him. What a spineless worm he is. And cruel to boot. You're entitled to how you're feeling. You're grieving a life you once had, and that's okay. I'm glad you've separated from your husband. It was for the best. While getting some space will help you clear your mind, I definitely highly recommend therapy so you can deal with the resentment/jealousy of your sister. That seems to be a deep-rooted problem. Moving away and having limited contact with her isn't helping you in the long run. It's your ex-husband's fault. Just because your husband is in love with her, doesn't make it her fault. Please don't make this situation strain your relationship with your sister. Take time apart, focus on your newborn and yourself. Do therapy to sort out your feelings of jealousy/resentment towards your sister, and hopefully one day in the future you can move back and have a better relationship with your sister. You want to be the best person for your daughter. Plus your daughter will have a cousin similar in age. I'm sure that it would be nice to see them playing and have a strong relationship with each other. Also realize your sister has been through a lot. Not just with this situation but growing up. She just hasn't shown it. You can have a fulfilled, happy life being a single mom. There's nothing wrong with that. I wish you good luck and a safe and speedy recovery for when you give birth. To quote the late Maya Angelou, when a person shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Your sister has proven her loyalty to you over and over. Please, please, please tell your sister. Don't let her walk into that meeting uninformed. She is pregnant and does not need to be blindsided. The pause that is your husband does not deserve your consideration or loyalty. He is showing you that he doesn't care about your feelings or your child Ren. Believe him. Damn. That's rough. Just all over. Like, I can't blame the guy per se, you can't choose who you love, so that's a bummer for him. And obviously it sucks for Op, cause now every time they are intimate she will assume he'd rather be with her. It even sucks for the sister, who is now going to lose a close friend and probably time with her sister, and have no idea what she did wrong. Unless he only got an Op for the sister. Then he's not only an ass, he's an idiot, since the sort of sister who sleeps on the floor to give you a bed isn't the same one who starts dating your ex/baby daddy. Update 3. I'm thankful for everyone who's reaching out asking for any new updates. I just don't think I have enough information to make a new post. But I have gone through all the comments and thank you. I asked my husband for separation because I need to be on my own to make my decision. We are also starting MC. Whether we stay together or not. I want to know everything that he has been withholding from me. He thinks I'm torturing myself, but he's wrong. I'm tortured with half-truths. With MC I'm hoping I could get to the bottom of his feelings in a safe environment. He cried when I told him that I wanted to separate. He told me he had lost everything in one day because of a drunk confession that meant nothing. He loves me and he wants to be with me. He suggested that we move away. He has had job offers in other cities on several occasions. He said this could be our new start. We were renovating the basement this summer to make it a guest room because our current guest room is being turned into a baby room. He will live in the basement. It has separate entrances and the mini kitchen is almost finished. I have decided not to tell my sister about any of this. This is my battle and my marriage. I love my sister so much, but I'll be very honest here. I resent her. I'm jealous of her and I think I have always been jealous of her. She's a way better person than I'm. I hate that I never had the chance to return the favor, as she always was perfect and never needed help. I resent that she isn't as angry as I'm about the injustice we had to endure. I hate that she's so good to me and my husband. I hate that he sees how much better of a person she is, and I hate that I don't blame for loving her instead of me. Tell her everything. Go with your sister where your husband has invited her to meet. Give him the surprise of his life. You are blaming the wrong person here, Miss Mom. Your sister is not at fault and she doesn't deserve any of your resentment because of your insecurities and personal conflicts. She's not actually blaming her sister, she just feels jealous, which is only natural considering her own husband loves her sister more than he loves her. Stop invalidating her feelings. You can't imagine how difficult this must be for her. Imagine finding out your husband has been in love with your sister for years while you are carrying his child. Keep in mind that pregnancy hormones are affecting her emotions right now, so maybe don't get on her case for feeling something as normal as jealousy. Jealousy is natural to feel, especially in this particular scenario, where her own husband thinks her sister is better than her. Of course she feels insecure and jealous, and she's allowed to. Leave her be and let her vent her emotions for duck's sake. My husband confessed to being in love with my sister, the aftermath. Hi. I was here about a month ago with my woe about my husband breaking down and confessing that he was in love with my sister and has been for years. The short version is that we're getting a divorce. And that he doesn't want to have anything to do with our daughter. I will include the original post. After my sister's engagement, and his confession, he made me promise that he will love me and that he's going to do all in his power to be a good and loving husband and father. He didn't want me to tell my sister anything because he was embarrassed, and we slowly started to plan a future together in another city. He was already getting a better job offer in the other city and now he thought it was time to move on. I agreed. We started MC. I told my sister that we were moving and she was very distraught, but she as always didn't object and supported me. I don't know if she felt it was weird that my husband wasn't hanging with us anymore, but she never asked. She was probably just busy with her own happiness and the changes in her life. After her vacation she came home and told me everything. She was pregnant and she was glowing, and that was the reason for this sudden engagement. Her fiancé wants to get married before the baby is born. She asked me to keep it a secret. She probably didn't mean even from my husband, but I kept it a secret anyway, because she was waiting for the second trimester to make the announcement. She finally broke down crying about me moving away when she needed me the most, but then later apologized for being selfish. She understood that we needed to provide the best life for my daughter, including finding better jobs elsewhere. I cried for a whole week. A week ago my husband was in a job interview in the other city and he was going to stay there for the week to sign a lease to a new apartment. We thought we could try out the new life before selling our house to buy a new one there. My sisters and her boyfriend made the announcement that they were expecting last Tuesday, the day after my husband's interview. Not 30 minutes later my husband called me. He was drunk and he was crying and asking if it was true and if I knew. He called me a cruel liar for not telling him. He said it was so unfair. My sister's fiancé was a loser and he didn't deserve her. Her fiancé is a carpenter and my sister is a pediatrician, and he told me he needed to be alone for a while so switched off his phone. Friday he texted me that he didn't want to be with me anymore and that he didn't want to be in my daughter's life. He was sorry but couldn't do it anymore. If I agreed to free him from his responsibilities as a father he would leave me the house. I tried calling him but he had switched off his phone again. I cried all night. Yesterday morning my sister called me to ask what's up. My husband has asked her to meet up with him because he wanted to tell her something that he couldn't say over the phone. That he was coming on Monday to see her. She asked me what's going on but I was too tired to tell her anything. She and her fiancé are coming over today and I will probably need to tell her everything now. Edit for final update. Hi again. I knew I could count on you for support. My sister was here and I told her everything. I got help from showing her parts of what I have written here because honestly I'm too tired to go into details about what I've been going through all these weeks. I told her that my husband was going to call asking to meet her, probably to tell her he loved her. Or maybe something more sinister, so she needs to stay away from him. Her fiancé was on the edge of his seat with anger. My sister was just crying and apologizing and trying to hug and stroke my hair. I hated her touch. I don't know why. I know nothing is her fault. I told my sister that now I warned her I want to be on my own for a while and that I didn't want any contact with any of them. I have been thinking about moving to another city. There's a small town that one of my best high school friends lives in after getting married. It's up north and everything is bigger and better and cheaper. I can easily find a small rental until the divorce is final and I can easily get a job there. If I can manage a pace there I can give birth up there with zero stress. I texted my husband that I've told my sister everything and that both her and her fiancé aren't happy. He called me an hour later. He apologized and told me he didn't mean to freak her out. He just wanted to see her and say goodbye, but that he won't bother her if she feels scared. He's still the same man and wouldn't let anything happen to her. He didn't ask about me or my baby. He's staying in the new place and he's starting his new job in September. He thought he would come back to say goodbye before moving to his new city permanently. My sister texted me later that she loved me and that she would stay out of my way if that's what I wanted, but to please not go through with my plans to move. I was wrong in thinking I'm a burden in her life because she's always needed me as much as I needed her, if not more. She would do anything to make it up to me. I didn't answer. I hate it when she's so perfect and kind. Duck off. You have to tell her. Your husband is out of his mind. Not sure what he expects to happen. I'm guessing he's throwing in a Hail Mary, to get her to leave her fiancé to ride off into the sunset with him. I don't see this working out the way he probably is hoping. Regardless, she deserves to know the truth. She's going to feel just as blindsided as you. Your sister seems like a good one, and I'm sure she will hate to see the pain he caused you. Tell her. She needs to know. I will tell her today. Please let us know the aftermath because this whole thing is crazy. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. He wants your sister to get a divorce so he can be with her. He is obsessed with her. Bravo. He's absolutely not in love with her, you're right. Unstable men get obsessive over something they can't have and hyperfixate on what it is they think they want, even if they have amazing things going for them. They are absolutely one of the most dangerous people to be around, especially if you are the object of their infatuation. This is spot on. This post could have been about me, and your comment is too accurate. He is in love with the woman that he wants you to be like, and your sister must be that example and is the closest thing to being you. You can't be in love to leave a marriage and child because of something you haven't touched. 1,000,000%. Exactly, this could quickly escalate into a dangerous situation. Geez, imagine him trying to blindside your poor sister. I'm so sorry you and your daughter are going through this. I'm 32 weeks pregnant now. Smile. Imagine. He actually thinks he can get your sister while you are 32 weeks pregnant. It's your sister who has your back. He is so delusional. I am sorry you are going through this. I'm sorry too. I should have listened to everyone in my last post. You did absolutely nothing wrong, Op. You are in a prolonged state of shock, at least I would be, which is also linked to existential issues due to the nature of the situation. Additionally, you are currently creating a new human being and have every right to be exhausted. Please try not to be too hard on yourself now. My heart is breaking for you. I'll keep you in my thoughts. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.